Today's event is to get the conversation started. I know we hear a lot of people talk about things that should be done when it comes to law enforcement in the community. A lot of people have a lot of suggestions, but I think the one thing that we haven't done as a nation was have the tough conversation.
The trust between communities, particularly low-income communities, communities of color, and law enforcement agencies is important to everyone, important for our reasons of safety. If there's no trust from the community, then they're not going to report crimes, they're not going to act as witnesses, no one is as safe. And so I think we need to come together to talk about the issues that have led to this distrust, and if there are ways that we can gain more trust between the communities and the police.
When I was growing up, we had a police department, and all of the officers, they knew everybody in the community. They lived in the community. They were our coaches. They knew your mom and your grandma, and like if you did anything, as opposed to them trying to put you in the system so quickly, they would take you home. You know what I'm saying? Look, I know Miss So-and-so, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking you home. I'm gonna let your grandma or your mom deal with you, whatever. But now, unfortunately, where I'm from, we lost that police department, and now it's ran by the county, the sheriffs. So they're no longer a part of that community. They're no longer coaches in that community. They're no longer your next door neighbor.
If we belong to a community in whatever capacity, we are all responsible for this issue that we have.
What we have on the panel tonight are people who want to be leaders in this community, want to be elected leaders, state's attorneys, sheriff of Orange County. We need to hear from those people. What are their policies? Are these the people you want leading your communities? Are these the policies you want implemented? So I think those things are important.
Well, officer-involved shootings are rare, luckily for us here in Orange County, but they do happen. So one of the things that also erodes trust in the community is law enforcement investigating law enforcement. If you want to have a truly neutral party investigate, and I'm working up the details of this plan now, but I want a public defender's office from outside of Orange County to investigate all officer-involved shootings.
Any excessive use of force, there should be zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. Anybody who violates that civil rights of anybody, excessive use of force, there should be criminal charges filed against them.
We have body camera footage, and the fact that law enforcement is outfitted with body cameras is a really good thing. The problem with that is we don't have the resources or the time to review every second of every body camera. And so I do think you have to look at everything as a case-by-case basis moving forward, but I think the organization of identifying where there are issues with law enforcement credibility is an important thing for the office.
So events like this, I think, are twofold. One is to actually acknowledge that there's a problem. One of the most important things that we can do is recognize where we really are, because there is no future until we acknowledge the present. So I think the conversations always have to start with a very candid, transparent conversation as to where we are. It is my hope that we can come to agreement on where we are versus some people denying the truth of where we are. Once we do that, then we can propel the conversation into what hasn't worked, what can work, and what we believe work. And most important, we consider data, we are informed, and not just opinions and anecdotal opportunities for people to make themselves look good, but what really works to make the change.